You slept 8 hours and woke up tired. Again. You'll do it tomorrow too. So let's stop dancing around it and ask the real question. Why are you so tired all the time? And before you answer, no, it's not the mattress, it's not the job, it's not your phone or your diet or the fact that you didn't drink enough water. You've blamed all of those, you've tried fixing all of those, and you're still waking up with the same weight on your chest. So somewhere underneath, you already know none of that was ever the problem. The tired isn't in your body. You can sleep for 10 hours, take the vacation, do the cold plunge, fix the diet, and 3 days later, it's back, exactly the same, because it never left. It was never about rest. You already know this, which is the part that should bother you. You've run the experiments, you bought the better pillow, you did the 30-day routine that was going to change your life. You deleted the apps for a week, you took the trip you swore would reset you, and every single time, the tired came back, on schedule, exactly as heavy, because the tired was never the thing you were changing. You were rearranging furniture in a house that was on fire, and then blaming yourself for not arranging it neatly enough. Maybe I need more discipline. Maybe I need to wake up at 5. Maybe I just need to want it more. No, you have been throwing everything you have at the wrong problem, which is the entire reason none of it worked. It is not your habits. It is not your willpower. It is not some routine you haven't discovered yet on some app you haven't downloaded yet. The problem is not what you do. The problem is what you are. And no amount of optimizing the schedule of a tired person changes the fact that they are tired all the way down. So here's the part you're not gonna like. The thing that's exhausting you isn't out there. It's you. It's the one thing you carry everywhere and can never put down, and you've been carrying it so long you stopped noticing it was heavy. There was a man who spent his whole life staring at exactly this, and he's not going to comfort you about it. He's going to tell you the truth. And the truth is going to land like a slap. Good, you've been asleep long enough. And I mean asleep in the worst way, not resting, running on autopilot, numb enough to function, too numb to notice you stopped actually living somewhere back there. That ends in the next 40 minutes if you let it. I'm not promising it feels good, only that it's true. And true is the one thing you haven't tried yet. Before we go in, do something. One word in the comments right now. How tired are you actually? Not sleepy, the other kind, the kind you don't say out loud. Type the real word, not the brave one. And now look at the replies, because the brave face you're about to put on your answer, everyone else is putting it on theirs too. That's the whole sickness in one comment section. 1,000 people lying in unison about being fine. Don't be the 1,001st. Type the real one. And one fast, serious thing, because this video goes to a dark place, and I'm not going to pretend it doesn't. If your tired has stopped being tired, if it's turned into the kind where you've started wondering whether being here is worth it at all, then close this and talk to an actual person. A hotline, a doctor, a friend, anyone real. I am a video. A video cannot carry that, and it's stupid to ask one to. Getting a real human is not weakness, it's just the correct move. Do that first. This will still be here. Okay, now the truth. His name was Emil Cioran, Romanian, lived in Paris, and he's about the bleakest writer who ever picked up a pen. But not bleak like edgy, bleak like a man who stopped lying. Most philosophers write to explain the world to you. Cioran wrote because being alive felt heavier than writing about how heavy it was. He called his own books a suicide that he kept putting off. Every page was him buying one more day. I'm telling you that not to be dramatic, so you understand he is not coming at this from a comfortable chair. He knew the exact tiredness you woke up with this morning. He knew it better than you do, and he's not going to hold your hand about it.
Here's a detail that fits too well. Cioran barely slept, decades of insomnia. He'd walk Paris at 3 in the morning because lying still in the dark with his own mind was unbearable. And he said the person who sleeps and the person who can't are living in two different worlds. When you sleep, the day ends. You get a little death every night, a clean cut, and you wake up new. When you can't, the day never ends. It just keeps going, hour after hour, and you're left alone with the bare fact of existing with nothing pulled over it. That's what taught him the truth. Take away the off switch, even for a few nights, and you start seeing existence the way it actually is when nothing's covering it. Heavy, endless, exhausting. You don't have to be an insomniac to know that feeling. You've had the nights your body was wrecked and your mind would not shut off. That gap, body done, mind still running, that's the whole video. That's the tire that sleep can't touch because the thing keeping you up was never in your body to begin with. And that's exactly why he's the one to listen to here, not some coach who slept 8 hours and wants to tell you about gratitude. Cioran earned this the hard way. He lived inside the tiredness you're scared of, permanently for decades, and the whole time he refused to lie about it, dress it up, or sell you an exit that doesn't exist. Most people who talk about this are trying to make you feel better. He's not. He's trying to make you see. Those are completely different jobs. Feeling better is what got you here, dose after dose of feeling better, and you're more tired than ever. Seeing clearly is the thing you've been running from, because the second you see it, you can't go back to the comfortable story. And the comfortable story is the one keeping you tired. The story that says this is temporary, that something's coming to fix it, that everyone else cracked the code and you're just behind. That story feels kind. It isn't. It's the thing that keeps you waiting and hiding and numbing instead of facing the one fact that would actually change something. Cioran takes the kind lie away and hands you the unkind truth. And the unkind truth, it turns out, is the only thing in this whole mess that was ever on your side. So let's name it. Where does it actually come from? It is your own consciousness. That's it. That's the answer. The thing wearing you down to the bone is the simple, constant, inescapable fact of being aware. Think about what that means and don't look away from it. Every second you are awake, there is a voice in your skull. It's reading these words right now. It does not stop. Not when you're in the shower replaying a fight you already lost, not in the car running a conversation that hasn't happened and probably won't, not at 2 in the morning when it digs up the most humiliating thing you did 15 years ago and plays it back in full color for no reason at all. It judges you, it scores you, it keeps a running list of everyone ahead of you and everything you're behind on and every word you should have said. It compares you to who you were, who you meant to be, who everyone else is pretending to be. And it does this every waking second of every day, and it has done it since you were a small child, and it will do it until you die. That is work, the hardest work there is, and you have never once been paid for it, never once gotten a day off from it, never once been told it was even happening. You think a hard day is the commute and the meetings and the chores. Under all of that, you are also running the machine that turns a pile of moments into a self, narrating it, carrying it, holding the whole thing together so it adds up to a someone. That machine has not stopped running for your entire life. Of course you're tired. You've been doing the heaviest job in existence, alone, unpaid, since before you can remember, and you called it normal. And here's the cruelest fact about that job. You cannot quit it, and you cannot take a day off from it, and you cannot go on vacation from it because the thing you'd be vacationing from is the one doing the traveling. You take it to the beach, you take it to bed, you take it into every room you've ever walked into, and you'll take it into the last one. There is no location on Earth where you get to not be you for an afternoon. Other jobs end. You clock out, you go home, you stop being the cashier or the manager or whatever you are for money. This one never ends. You are the cashier of your own consciousness with no shifts, no weekends, no retirement, and the store never closes, not for 1 second, from your first memory to your last. Read that back and then ask yourself again why you're tired. You've been awake at the register for 30, 40, 50 years straight. Anyone would be on the floor. Cioran put it in one line. Consciousness, he said, is not a thorn, it's a dagger in the flesh. Not a little irritation that pokes you now and then, a blade lodged in that you feel whether you notice it or not. And here's the specific cruelty of it. That voice is not on your side. You'd think the one narrator you're stuck with for life would at least root for you. It doesn't. It's the harshest critic you will ever have. It keeps your failures in high definition and lets the wins fade by morning. It runs the worst case before you've even started. It tells you everyone's judging you,
then judges you for caring. It wakes you at 3 to replay a debt, a deadline, a thing you said wrong in 2014. You would not tolerate a friend who spoke to you the way your own head speaks to you. You'd cut them off, but you can't cut this one off. It came installed. It has your voice, and it has been editorializing your every move since you were small. Living with that, hour after hour, year after year, is the single most expensive thing you do. And you do it in dead silence, behind a face that says everything's fine. And here's why it's specifically your problem and not the dog's. For the animal, life just is. For you, it is a question you can't stop asking. Watch a dog in a patch of sun sometime. It is completely in that sun. No part of it is worried about Monday. No part of it is wondering what its life amounts to. No part of it is watching itself lie there and grading the performance. It just exists, all the way, no gap. And you haven't felt that. Not really, since you were too young to talk. You don't get to just live. You have to live and watch yourself live and judge how it's going and ask what it's for, all at once, forever. You are the only animal that has to do its life and review its life in the same breath. And the reviewing is the part that's killing you. Sit in that, because it's the whole engine. You are never just doing a thing. You're doing it, watching yourself do it, and grading the performance, all at once, live. You don't just eat dinner. You note that you're eating too fast, that you should have made something healthier, that you probably eat like this because of something from childhood. You don't just have a conversation. You monitor it. Did that land? Why did I say that? Do they think less of me now? You don't just rest. You rest, feel guilty for resting, and calculate what you should be doing instead. There is a manager living in your skull who never clocks out and never approves of anything. The dog has no manager. The dog eats. You supervise yourself doing literally everything 24 hours a day, and supervision is work, and you have never once been allowed to leave the job. Of course the dog looks peaceful. It got the one thing you will never have, a mind that lets it be where it is without filing a report on it. People call the animal simple, lucky, doesn't know any better. Cioran flips it. The animal isn't missing anything. You are carrying something extra. The awareness, the why, the endless looking at your own life from the outside. That extra thing is supposed to be the crown, the thing that makes you better than the dog. Fine, but it's also the wound. The same mind that lets you build and create and love on purpose is the mind that will never, ever let you rest the way that dog rests. You bought the big, beautiful brain with your piece. That was the deal. Nobody asked if you wanted it. You were born already holding the bill, and you've been paying it every day since, and you'll pay it until the end. And you can rage about that all you want. It changes nothing. You did not choose to be born conscious. You signed nothing. You just woke up one day as a small child, already aware, already wondering, already on the hook. There is no customer service line, no refund, no downgrade to the calm, unbothered animal life. You are stuck being the one creature that knows it's going to die and has to live anyway, knowing. That's the deal you never agreed to, and the tiredness is just what that deal feels like from the inside when you stop lying about it. Most people never stop lying about it. They stay busy on purpose, precisely so they never have to sit still long enough to feel the full weight of being a conscious thing in a world that does not care whether they exist. You're feeling it right now. That is not a malfunction. That's just the lights being on. And here's what nobody says. The brighter your lights, the more it costs. The people who feel this least are not the strongest. They're the dimmest, the most distracted, the most thoroughly numbed. The ones who feel it hardest are usually the ones paying the most attention. So if you're wrecked in this specific bone-deep way, it might be the clearest proof you've got that you're actually awake in a world full of people who learn to sleep with their eyes open. So that's the floor. Being conscious is exhausting, and there is no fixing that. And anyone who tells you a morning routine fixes it is selling something. But here's where you stop being a victim of this and start being the cause. Because you take that base exhaustion and then you do something that doubles it. You hide it. Every morning you wake up with the weight, and then you get up and you put on a face. Someone says, "How are you?" and you say, "Good." You say, "Busy." You say, "Can't complain." You smile in the meeting you're dead inside for. You're pleasant in the elevator. You send the little exclamation point so nobody worries. All day, every day, you perform a version of yourself that is more okay than you are. And that performance is not free. It costs you hour after hour, and you pay it on top of everything else. Count the faces sometime. There's the work face, the one that says, "I've got this," on the mornings you absolutely do not have this. There's the parent face, calm and patient, held in place over 3 hours of sleep and no patience left. There's the texting face, the one that adds the exclamation points and the little ha's so nobody hears the flat voice underneath. There's the family dinner face, the date face, the face you put on when someone shares good news and part of you is glad and part of you is so empty you can barely lift the corners of your mouth. You switch between them so fast you don't even feel the changes anymore, and every switch costs something. By the time you get home, you're not wrecked because the day was hard. You're wrecked because you were on stage for 9 hours straight, playing a person who is doing fine, to an audience that is also acting, in a theater where nobody is allowed to break character. And then you wonder why collapsing on the couch doesn't refill you. It doesn't refill you because you didn't run out of energy doing tasks. You ran out of it being a performance of a human instead of a human. And the better you are at the performance, the worse this gets, because the better you fake it, the more completely you're alone inside it, holding up a fine that everyone believes and nobody can help you put down. Call it the second shift. The first shift is just being conscious, which already wrecks you. The second shift is pretending you're not wrecked, acting fine, managing your face so everyone around you stays comfortable. And you work that second shift every waking hour of your life. And here's the punchline, you do it for free for people who are doing the exact same thing back at you. Because that's the joke you're too tired to laugh at. Everyone is faking it. Every single fine face you see is doing what your fine face is doing. The whole room is exhausted. Every person in it certain they're the only one. Every person burning their last reserves to hide it from everyone else who is also hiding it. It's the dumbest arrangement ever designed. A planet of tired people, each one alone, each one performing wellness at the others, nobody admitting a thing. And you're not standing outside it judging it. You're in it. You did it this morning. You'll do it again the second you finish this video and someone asks if you're all right. And zoom out and look at how insane it is. Billions of people, all exhausted, all hiding it, all convinced they're uniquely broken, all spending their last reserves maintaining a mask for an audience of other masks. Nobody is actually fooled, and yet everybody keeps it up, because being the first to drop the mask feels like losing. So we all stand there, armored, lonely, performing okay at each other, while the one thing that would actually help, somebody just saying out loud, "I'm exhausted too," sits right there, one honest sentence away. And almost nobody says it. And you're not above this. You're in it. Every time you say fine, you reinforce the lie for everyone in earshot. You make it a little harder for the next person to tell the truth, because now they'd have to be the one who breaks the spell. We are all keeping each other trapped politely with a single word repeated billions of times a day. Fine, fine, fine. The most exhausting word in the language, and we say it the most. And let me be blunt about which part actually breaks you, because it isn't the weight. People carry heavy things. People carry brutal things. What grinds you to nothing is carrying it while smiling, carrying it while insisting you're fine, carrying it for years and never once setting it on the ground in front of another human and saying out loud, "This is heavy, and I'm exhausted, and I have been for a long time." The weight didn't break you. The lie on top of the weight broke you. And you chose the lie. Every time. And don't soften that into a victim story. Nobody forces the word fine out of your mouth. There's no gun to your head in the elevator. You say it because it's easy, because it keeps people at a distance where they can't see you and can't hurt you, because the alternative is being known, and being known is terrifying. So you pick the lie freely 40 times a day, and then you wonder why you feel so alone when the loneliness is the direct, predictable result of the choice you keep making. That's the part you don't want to hear. This isn't being done to you. You are holding the mask up with your own hand, and you could lower it any time, and you don't, and then you blame the world for not seeing your face. The world can't see a face you're covering. Take your hand down or stop complaining that nobody knows you. Those are the options. There is no third one where you stay hidden and also feel seen. You have to pick. And so far, every single day, you've picked hidden and called it bad luck. It gets worse. Because under the lie, there's another thing draining you, and it's the one you're most proud of, the hunger for meaning. You can't just be tired. You need the tired to be buying something. You tell yourself you'll rest later. You'll rest when the project ships. You'll relax when the kids are older. You'll finally breathe when you hit the number, get the title, pay the thing off. You're always one milestone from the version of your life where you're finally allowed to stop. So you sprint at it, running on empty, sure the rest is waiting just past the line. And you cross the line, and you already know what's there. Another line. The goalposts get up and walk down the field every time, and you keep running, telling yourself it's just this season, just this stretch, the rest is coming. Every season has been just this season. The whole life is going by inside just this stretch. Cioran saw it cold. The rest you keep promising yourself is a carrot on a stick, and you were the idiot holding the stick out in front of your own face. There is no arrival. There is no day where existence says, "Good job, you made it, you can put it down now." That day is not coming. You can keep waiting for it and die waiting, which is what most people do. Or you can face that it was never out there and stop spending today to buy a tomorrow that keeps not showing up. And be honest about how long you've been running this con on yourself. You said you'd rest after exams, then after you got the job, then after the promotion, after the move, after things settled down. Things have never once settled down. There has not been a single stretch of your adult life that you didn't label temporary. The crunch is always temporary. The stress is always just this period. And you've strung enough temporary periods together that they've quietly become your entire life. That's the trick. It never feels like the permanent state. It always feels like the exception you're about to get through. So you never stop to deal with it. You just keep promising yourself the real life starts after this one last hard part. The last hard part does not end. There is no after. This stretch you keep apologizing for and powering through is not the prelude to your life. It is your life. You are doing it right now, today, tired, waiting for it to start. And here's what you reach for instead of facing any of this. You numb. At the end of the day, you collapse and you grab the phone, the show you've seen 4 times, the drink, the scroll that eats 2 hours and leaves you emptier than when you started. You call it coping. You call it unwinding, decompressing, self-care. It's none of those. It's anesthesia. Numbing is not rest. It's just turning the volume down on the thing in your head for an hour. The machine is still running. The weight is still on you. You've just drugged yourself enough not to feel it for a little while, and then it wears off and everything's exactly where you left it. Plus now the evening's gone too. And look at the specific drugs, because you've got a whole cabinet and you reach for them on autopilot. The phone first thing before your eyes are even open, so there's never a gap where you're alone with yourself. The show running in the background of dinner so the silence can't get a word in. The 2 drinks that take the edge off, then the third that's just a habit now. The scroll you don't even enjoy that you keep doing anyway, thumb moving on its own while your face goes slack. None of these are pleasures anymore. You stopped enjoying them a long time ago. They're just doses, ways to turn the volume down on the thing in your head for 1 more hour so you don't have to hear it. And every dose works a little less than the last, so you need a little more, which is exactly how every other anesthetic on earth works too. You are not relaxing in the evening. You are sedating an animal that is conscious so it can survive until morning and do it all again. That's not rest. That's maintenance on a machine you've decided not to repair. And you chose it. Nobody forced the phone into your hand. You picked numb over awake every night because awake hurts and numb is easy. And that choice is quietly costing you the only evenings you're ever going to get. That's why nothing works. You keep treating a tiredness of the whole self with treatments for the body and tricks for the brain. More sleep, a vacation, a supplement, a scroll. It's drinking salt water because you're thirsty. Feels like the thing for 1 second, leaves you worse. The rest you're actually starving for was never going to come from one more thing you consume, because the thing draining you is not a lack of pleasure. It's the non-stop labor of being a self that has to hide itself. You cannot numb your way out of that. You've been trying for years. Look at where it got you. Right back here, tired, watching a video about being tired at whatever hour it is. And notice the loop you're in this second. You're tired, so you reached for the phone, and the phone handed you a video about being tired, and you're watching it instead of sleeping or instead of talking to the person in the next room. And when it ends, the feed will hand you another one, and you'll take it, because taking it is easier than sitting in the quiet with the thing the video is about. I'm not above this. I'm part of the machine that does it to you. The only difference is I'm telling you it's happening. This is anesthesia too, a smarter, sadder kind, the kind that lets you feel like you're facing the problem while you keep avoiding it. So at some point, the watching has to turn into the one real conversation, or it's just another dose, and you've had enough doses by now to know exactly where they lead. Right back here. And you're doing it all alone. That's the last weight, and it doesn't lift when you're loved, which is what confuses everyone. You can be in a good marriage and feel it, at the party you were excited for, surrounded by people, laughing, and still feel the ache underneath, like you're watching the whole warm thing through glass. You assume that means something's wrong with you. It doesn't. It's just the truth of having a private mind. You can describe your day to someone. They cannot feel your day. You can tell them you're suffering. They cannot climb in and sit in it with you. They get the report. They never get the thing. Nobody is coming into the room. Not your partner, not your best friend, not your mother. You were born alone in that room, and you'll die alone in it. And the whole stretch between, no matter how crowded your life looks, part of you is in there by yourself, holding the weight, with the light on. And so is every single person you'll ever meet, each one sealed in their own room. All of you sliding notes under the door, calling it connection, never once getting inside. And stop waiting for the person who fixes that, because they're not coming either. That's the fantasy underneath every relationship you've ever overloaded. The one who'll finally get it, who'll know what you mean before you say it, who'll climb into the room with you so you're not in there alone anymore. They don't exist. Not because you keep picking wrong, but because the room only fits one. The most anyone can ever do, the best case, the great love of your life included, is stand at the door and knock and care. They still never come in. And when you put that impossible job on a person, when you need them to end your aloneness, you crush them under a weight no human can carry, and then you resent them when they buckle. And you call that the relationship failing. They didn't fail. You asked a person to do the one thing a person structurally cannot do. Everyone is alone in the room. Your partner is alone in theirs right now, lying next to you, just as sealed off as you are. The sooner you stop demanding someone break in and rescue you from your own consciousness, the sooner you can actually meet the people knocking at the door, instead of hating them for not having a key that was never cut. So add it up, because this is the real answer to why you're so tired, and it has nothing to do with your sleep. You are conscious, which never shuts off. You're performing fine on top of that, which never shuts off. You're chasing a meaning that never arrives. You're numbing yourself instead of facing any of it. And you're doing the whole thing locked in a room no one else can enter. That's the tiredness. That's all of it. It is the price of being an awake human plus a pile of extra weight you've been adding yourself and calling life. Now, most of what I just listed you can't fix. The consciousness, the aloneness, the no final rest, that's the cost of being you, and you pay it to the end. A philosophy that promised you a way out of that would be lying to your face, and Cioran never lied to anyone. But some of that pile is optional. The lie is optional. The numbing is optional. The brave face you've been holding up at enormous cost that you chose, and you can put it down. And that's the only thing you can actually do about it. So listen, stop pretending. Not because it'll make you feel good, it might not. Do it because the pretending is the part that's actually killing you. And you're the one doing it to yourself, and you've been doing it so long you call it normal. The base tiredness is honest. It's just what being awake weighs. That part's allowed. The shame you stacked on top, the energy you burn hiding it, the lie you tell 40 times a day, that's the part that turned a heavy life into an unbearable one. So drop it. Tell one person the real number. Not the internet, not everyone, one person you trust. Say the true thing. I'm not okay. Not sleepy, the deep kind, the kind that's been here a while. And brace yourself, because 9 times out of 10 they exhale and say, "Oh, thank God, me too. I thought it was just me." And the weight doesn't disappear, nothing fixed it, but for the first time it's not a secret, and a weight you carry in the open with someone weighs a fraction of the one you smuggle around alone. That's the whole move. That's the only honesty Cioran leaves you. He's not telling you to cheer up. Cheering up is the lie. He's telling you to quit performing, to trade the costume of "I'm fine" for the heavier but true "I'm exhausted and I'm done pretending I'm not." One of those is eating you alive. The other one, brutal as it sounds, is the closest thing to rest you're going to get. And you already know you're not going to do it. That's the part I want to call out because it's the whole reason you're still tired. You've heard all of this, or felt most of it, and the second this video ends, you're going to get up, and the next time someone asks how you are, you're going to say, "Fine," automatically, like always. You'll choose the costume again, because the costume is safe. The costume means nobody sees, nobody worries, nobody has a way in to hurt you. Telling the truth feels like handing someone a knife and turning around. So you keep the armor on, and the armor keeps you alone, and the aloneness is the heaviest part of the whole thing, and round it goes, and you call that protecting yourself. You're not protecting yourself. You're slowly suffocating yourself in a suit you're too scared to take off. So here's the dare, since comfort clearly hasn't worked on you. The next time it's a real person you trust, and they ask, and you feel the word "fine" loading up in your mouth, don't say it. Say the true thing instead. Watch what happens. Worst case, it's awkward for 10 seconds. Best case, you find out you were never the only one in the room, and the suit comes off for the first time in years. You've been betting your whole life on the costume. It has not paid out once. Try the other thing. And hear this part, because it's the cold version of mercy. You are not tired because something is wrong with you. You're tired because nothing is wrong with you. You're tired because you're actually awake, actually feeling the thing every conscious creature feels instead of sleepwalking through it numb like you've been trained. The people who seem fine aren't stronger than you. They're better at the costume, or they went numb years ago and called it peace. Your exhaustion isn't failure, it's the receipt for paying attention. The only thing you've been failing at is admitting it. And one more hard thing, because you need it. This tiredness has taught you things the comfortable will never learn. Every time you actually grew, every time something in you genuinely shifted, it wasn't during the easy stretch. It was after the thing fell apart, the loss, the failure, the night it all came down. Nobody chooses those, and they're also the only times you ever saw clearly, because comfort is a kind of blindness, and pain rips the blindfold off. This isn't a pitch to go suffer on purpose. It's a refusal to let you file your darkest, most tired stretches under wasted. They weren't wasted. They're the only school that teaches certain things, and you've been enrolled the whole time. The lucidity sitting under your exhaustion is the most grown part of you, the part that stopped swallowing the bright little story everyone repeats and started seeing the real one. Don't you dare call that weakness. Picture your Tuesday. You wake up with the weight. You get yourself ready. You do the commute you won't remember. You walk in. Someone says, "Morning, how are you?" And your mouth says, "Good, you?" on pure autopilot while you run on fumes. You perform for 9 hours. You come home wrecked, not from the tasks were nothing, but from being on, managing your face, being a person for everyone but yourself. You collapse, you numb, you scroll, you sleep. Alarm, again. That's the loop, and you can run it until you're dead, performing fine the whole way down, and a lot of people do exactly that. Or you can break it in one place, one person, one true sentence. That's it. That's the entire exit, and it costs you nothing but the costume you were killing yourself to keep on anyway. And don't tell me you don't have time for that. You have time for the scroll. You have time for the show you've seen 4 times. You have time to rehearse arguments in the shower and replay your worst moments at night. You don't lack time, you lack the nerve. The one true sentence takes 10 seconds. You've spent 10 years avoiding it. Do the math on which one actually costs more. The avoidance isn't free just because it's quiet. It is the most expensive thing in your life, and it's the reason the tired never lifts and you keep paying it every day to dodge 10 seconds of feeling exposed. Look at that trade. It's a terrible trade. You're handing over your whole life to avoid one moment of discomfort that would actually set some of the weight down. And here's the quiet horror of it. If you don't break the loop, it doesn't break on its own. It just runs. Get up, perform, numb, sleep, get up, perform, numb, sleep. And the years go by exactly like that. Fine on the outside, wrecked underneath until they're gone. And the costume comes off for the last time, and the only person who ever knew how tired you really were was you. And you took it with you. That's not a worst case. That's the default. That's what happens if you change nothing. Most people get the default. And once you see this in yourself, you'll see it in everyone, and it'll change how you look at people, though not in a soft way. The driver who cut you off, the cashier who didn't smile, the friend who went quiet. You used to fill in a story. What a jerk. What's their problem? Their problem is your problem. They're running on no sleep, hiding something they can't say, performing fine for a world that never lets up, and they slipped. Everyone you pass is on the same second shift, lying the same lie, alone in the same way. That doesn't mean you let people walk on you. It means you can stop taking the exhaustion of strangers personally. And harder, you can stop running the cruelest version of that voice on yourself. The one that calls you lazy for being tired, weak for struggling, behind for not having it solved. That voice has no case. You can't be weak for feeling the exact thing every awake person who ever lived has felt. Half of what you've been calling tiredness this whole time wasn't even the weight. It was the second job of hating yourself for feeling it. Put that down too. It never once made you less tired. It only made you more alone. And notice you do that cruelty automatically, the same way you do the fine face automatically. Nobody taught you to be patient with yourself. They taught you to perform, to push through, to not be a burden, to keep the complaints to yourself. So the voice running you is the voice of everyone who ever told you to toughen up, installed permanently now, turned against you, narrating your exhaustion as a character flaw. It is not a character flaw, it's physics. Awareness has a weight. You've been holding it non-stop for decades, and you are tired the way anyone holding anything that long is tired. The self-attack adds nothing but a second injury on top of the first. So drop it, not because you've earned a break, but because it was never even accurate. You were never lazy, you were loaded down. There's a difference, and pretending there wasn't has already cost you years. So, why are you so tired all the time? Now you know, and you can't unknow it. It was never the sleep, it was being awake and aware and alone in your own head 24 hours a day, plus the lie you tell to hide all of it, plus the numbing you do instead of facing it, plus the rest you keep promising yourself that is never gonna come. That's the bill for being conscious. Nearly everyone you'll ever meet is paying it in silence right next to you, pretending they're not. And that should land hard. You are not special in this. Every tired person you've envied, every put-together coworker, every friend whose life looks easy, every stranger who seems to have it figured out is carrying a version of this behind their own fine, in their own sealed room. The whole world is exhausted and lying about it, which means the secret you've been keeping, the one you were sure made you uniquely weak, is the most common secret on earth. You were never behind, you were never broken, you were just paying attention long enough to notice the bill everyone gets. So here's where this actually leaves you, and it's not where you expected. You came in wanting to feel less tired, and you're leaving with the news that the tiredness is permanent and mostly unfixable, which sounds like a downgrade. It isn't, it's a release, because now you can stop fighting a war you were never going to win, the war to not be tired, and put that energy somewhere real. You can stop hating yourself for feeling exactly what every conscious creature feels. You can quit auditioning for an audience that's just as scared as you are. The exhaustion stays, it's honest, but the shame on top of it, the lie on top of that, the numbing on top of that, all of that can go, starting today, starting with one true sentence to one real person. And what's left, a tired, awake, honest person who finally stopped pretending, is lighter than what you walked in as, even though nothing about your life changed. That's the only relief that was ever on the table. No comfort, no cure, just the truth and the one move it makes possible. Take it or keep the costume, your call. It always was. You can't stop being conscious. You can stop lying about it. You can quit spending your last drop of energy performing a fine you haven't felt in years. You can let one person see the real thing. You can stop calling yourself weak for being exactly as tired as a thinking creature is built to be. The rest you actually need was never going to come from more sleep. It comes from dropping the costume. And the only reason you haven't yet is that you're scared of what's underneath it. Here's the truth about what's underneath it. It's you, just tired, just honest, just finally done pretending. That's not the worst thing in the world. The worst thing in the world is the other option, which is to keep faking it until you're gone and never once let anyone, including yourself, see that you were tired the whole time. I asked you for one word at the start. Here's the last thing, and then I'm done. Tell me, in the comments, the last time you said, "I'm fine," when you absolutely were not. Don't explain it, just admit you did it. Because the second a few thousand of us admit how often we say that word, it starts to lose its grip. Go.